this is Phoenix, and I wanted to do another video just to show the changes that I made to the UI layout that I've been using before. I've updated it for the Thieves Guild patch, and I've changed a lot of the essential layout, kind of with the idea that to get things mostly away from the middle of the screen. Before I kind of had it, and it was neat. I had it so it was integrated where the buffs would be over on the right hand side and your debuffs would be on the left hand side, but it wasn't really practical when you got into a situation where you had more than just a few of each, because they'd start stacking up in the middle of your screen, and it really took away from the, like if you were in a veteran dungeon or a trial where there's all kinds of buffs flying around from all these different people. You can have like 10 or 12 of them or something like that, and it just fills the middle of your screen. Looks terrible. So I changed that. I updated for the new versions of Azura and Surrendar. So you've got the target, as you can see. When you target a player, there's nobody probably around here right now, but it has their buffs up above the bar. It has their veteran icon if they have it. It has their alliance icon. It has their alliance rank. So it's really pretty cool. It's got a lot of information. And let's see, the cool thing for Thieves Guild is I've integrated this Thief's Knapsack, which tells you how much all of the currently stolen items in your bags are worth if you were to sell them, which is really handy. You can see this get up into the thousands if you start using those troves that the Thieves Guild scatters around. This is useful because it tells you the total number of stolen items in your bag. So if you have a stack of like 20 stolen carrots, it'll tally that as 20 and add up everything. So if you're looking at this 50-50, that means you have, well, I'm level 1 of Leisure Domain, but it means I have 50 left to sell and 50 left to launder. And then this timer here shows how many, well, right now minutes and seconds, but usually you'll see hours and minutes, but right now it's coming up to reset time. So you've got a reset timer on when your fence interactions reset. So I need to get in the next 50 minutes and launder and sell 50 things of each if I wanted to for the day. Then if you actually have a bounty, you'll see a new thing come up here, which will be the amount of the bounty. And then also really cool, how long until that bounty goes away on its own. So you actually get another timer that shows how long till you run out of bounty. If you're ever sitting there wondering, God, how long is this going to take? It tells you exactly how many minutes and seconds it's going to take for that bounty to go away on its own. It's very cool. And the timer for the fence interactions is very cool. So that's a neat new feature. I do have Foundry Tactical integrated, but I don't have any of the bells and whistles for that, so I don't have the target frames and the player frames. I've got all that kind of with Azura set up to where it hides it automatically if they're full, and they show up if they're not, and it will show them if you enter combat. If you're in combat, it always shows them. But the bars are really streamlined. They're down there by your abilities. Something that's new is I've got the debuffs that you put on your target right above your health bar, which is handy because your kind of eyes. I've sort of made this with the intention of being very intuitive, like where your eyes naturally go when you're in combat is down. You kind of are looking at your ability bar, which will always show in combat, but you're also kind of always keeping an eye on your bars to see your health. And then you glance back up, and you look back down, and you look, but your eyes kind of always drift down. So instead of having the debuff, way up here on the target bar, which you really don't look at that much except just to glance at the percent left, and it does show the value of their hit points and the percent. And the boss bars have the fancy, decorations and all this stuff. But instead of having the debuffs way up at the top and your health way at the bottom, so it's kind of dividing the things you actually, because you want to, like, especially like an archer, for example, relies, especially now that they moved the. the. 'Poison damage over to Mighty in the CP system, you want to constantly have that poison injection dot on anything below 50%. So you might want to keep track of the percent, but you also want to keep track of your health. And when you're micromanaging two important things that you need to be keeping track of, whether you're dying and when your debuff is going to run off on the target, it helps to be able to just look in the same place. So that's the reasoning. So you'll see those line up above your health bar, which is really handy. And it's I don't really have any dots or things on my sorcerer that I put on to show you how that works. But yeah, that's another cool feature. And like I said, I've integrated Foundry Tactical, so you can keybind, showing the damage summary. Everybody's familiar with that. It breaks down the abilities and how much DPS they did. It's got your buffs, your long duration buffs, like your food, the cake for the anniversary I've got up there. Up along here, which is kind of neat. It's sort of like a classical look. Like if you've used buff, I can't remember what the name of it was, the popular one. It used to be Citrina's buff frames for a while, but then it got replaced with something, and I can't remember what it was. But that's there. And I did them like that because it's just at a glance your long duration. You don't need to see the name. And the main thing that I changed with the layout of Surrender is the way that buffs are handled. So now when you buff yourself, they're going to stack over on the right hand side there. And also when you go into combat, the quest tracker is going to auto hide. So these will go ahead and just stack up along the side here in this slot up to your minimap. That gives you a lot of space to stack and see all the buffs you've got going on, even in a trial, without it being in the middle of the screen like it was before, which is really a way better layout. And then the debuffs that you have on you will actually line up right here along the bottom edge of the minimap, like the same icon format, over to the left. So you'll be able to see at a glance the DB, and you usually don't have a ton, maybe 3 at the max or 4 if you're getting sieged or something. But those will show up here at a glance as icons, because you don't really need to see more. It doesn't really matter what they're called. With buffs, you know the name of your abilities, so you know which one you need to reapply. But with debuffs, it doesn't really matter what it is. Usually you kind of know the like poison injection or something, the big ones. You'll recognize them by the icon. So I really like Foundry Tacticals. This is Surrendar that handles the long buffs because they're just stationary. They don't need the cool decorations. But I really like Foundry Tacticals. The way that Atropos has done this with, if you look at them, it's got this. It's these little subtle things that just make this look so pro. I mean, look at this. It's got this worm like in the old Unix screensaver that is just going around, and as it's running out you see the numbers, but you also see this animation, and that's so cool. So, and it's got the names over to the side. I really dig that. So I've used Foundry Tactical's buff system and Surrendar's long buff system, and I actually use Surrendar's debuffs too, because I don't really need all of that information. It's just at a glance thing. So anyway, that's the main changes. I made some little changes behind the background to, like, I don't think I have anything in my inventory to show it, but the position of the motif icon for show motif that actually shows you what style a weapon or armor in your inventory is. I've kind of moved that a little bit so it's positioned better, and little tweaks here and there on everything. But the main functionality, I wanted to show how the combat looks. I'm actually using ZeniMax implemented their own combat text, floating combat text, and it's really good, actually. I was surprised that the numbers actually kind of do the scatter cloud thing, and they float around the target that's being interacted with. So like if you attack this enemy over here, the numbers appear at that enemy, and if you're taking damage or healing on you, the numbers appear at you. I've actually just turned that on, and so I'm not using actually any kind of add-on for that. And the more add-ons you remove, the better your performance is going to be. So it's not super noticeable, but if you remove like, I used to use, oh gosh, what was the name of it? Harvest map. So every node of like, columbine or bug loss or iron ore or whatever that I had to farm, it would add a dot to the map of where that was. And after a while, there's so many dots on the map, and especially the mini map. I put filters on it, so there's a distance that they are supposed to disappear, and I tried to line it up so it was right at the edge of the viewable area of the mini map. But even still, if you got a billion of those, it's going to add up and it's going to start degrading performance. So I've removed that because I don't need to really know where those nodes are at. I kind of just get the keen eye thing, the keen eye perk or whatever you want to call it in the various trees for the things that I farm, and I can see them in the world that way, and it doesn't really matter. I just grab anything as I see it. I don't know. Performance is way better now, and I've got the list of the current add-ons that I use updated. So I'm just going to go ahead and show what combat looks like with the new numbers. As you can see, the crits are in the bold there. Dots are going to be in a different color. So it's really cool, and you see your buffs over there at the right, so you can keep track of what's going on there too. So I really like the way that looks. It keeps everything out of the middle of your screen. The quest tracker is auto hidden. See how it just popped back up there because combat ended, which is another neat little way to tell you're in combat or not. So yeah, that's it looks way better. And a couple other little quality of life things that I've added. I actually added one of my own add-ons. If you see the chat window here, it's got this button here. That's not in the default. I have actually added that where you can hit that to reload the UI. You can also hold down Shift, and that will clear your current chat. So like, I've got filters turned off because I didn't want to put anybody's name in the video in case they were talking in zone chat. Oops. So what you can do is you can hold down Shift and click this, and it will actually clear the chat window. Because if you remember in WoW, you could just type /clear and it would clear your chat, and I've actually implemented that too. So happened with my filters there. I'm not sure why that's not showing up. There we go. I love being a Sork. Seriously, it's anything bad's happening, you just they're pretty well, this build that I've got is actually my build that I made for AoE farming. So I'll let you run around some more. That is so obnoxious. Freaking hag ravens are one of the most annoying enemies in the game, I swear to God. Everything they do is just like designed to troll you. They run around, they blast you with a big old fire inferno that knocks you back. They go and resurrect everything that you've killed, and they teleport around out of your AoEs. It's so absolutely obnoxious. Okay, I was going to say I also implemented the /clear to clear your chat as well. And then a keybind where you can bind minimizing and maximizing chat. And also I made it so it will remember whether if you say, for example, if this is minimized right now and I were to zone or reload the UI or exit the game and come back in, it's going to remember where that was. So when I log back in, it's going to still be minimized. So if I want to always have it minimized, it'll remember that. So that's kind of cool. I also have got my master recipe list add-on that you can use. I haven't actually included it in the UI because it's kind of its own separate deal, but I definitely recommend you check it out. The main thing I love about it is the cooking station integration, where it's got all the food categories color-coded, and it's got a little icon to show if they buff health or magic or stamina or both of any of those. And if you're on a writ, it's got the category that it's in automatically highlighted, and it's got the thing you need to cook, if you know it, automatically highlighted. So no more more searching through your stuff to do cooking writs. So so there's that. Um, and so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put this together. The instructions are still pretty much the same. You just open up all the files and change the character name and the account name to yours. And if you use Notepad++, you just hit, do it to everything that's currently open. You can do it all at once. So, and then you'll have an interface that looks, just like this, which is, I think, actually really cool. All the information that you need without being, cumbersome. Oh, also, you see I don't have a compass up here. There is an add-on, I think it's Wicked's Full Immersion that does that, but you can keybind showing it and hiding it. I don't currently have it keybound. But you can go into settings and add-on settings and tweak any of this stuff for this, and I think that's full immersion. But if you go into the controls, all the add-ons have their own, any add-on that has a keybind has got them added under the controls, under the default controls. I think that was Wicked's full immersion. No, it was one of the other ones. Not sure which one that would be, actually. It's in there somewhere, though. I know because I've done it before. It might be that it's actually under a different place. Like, let's see. If you go into the add-on settings for that. I wonder if he changed that. I swear there used to be an option to toggle. Okay, so it says it's keybindable. It's got to be in there somewhere. I guess it's just like a master thing, and oh, that's what it was. Because the only thing I'm using it to hide is the compass. So that, okay, that's what, so if you want, you can go into here, find this, and it's okay. It's the turn on off for Wicked's full immersion. So I have Xbound, interact with player. What could I bind that to? I swear I have used like every keybind. Oh well, just for the sake of this, I'll just bind it to 3 for now. I use 3 for other things, but that will actually show the compass and hide it. So you can have the compass if you want, and it's up there. I've laid it out so that it's not overlapping the target frame. It is lined up with the Wicked bar above it, and so yeah, you can toggle that on and off if you want to. So I am going to go ahead and upload this, and so I just wanted to show off the new layout because with the new version of the game, update 7 I guess it is, the add-on authors, Surrender especially, was got a complete rewrite. I think Keith, the original author, actually came back and just completely rewrote it, so the whole way it works is improved, and that actually invalidated a lot of the old layout settings, so I had to fix those all, and Azure as well needed to be updated. So all of that now is done, and it looks really cool. So if you want a nice pre-made UI that's got everything in a nice, neat layout without having to worry about customizing and all, check it out.